Hi there, I'm John of John's Carnivorous Plants, and this is my indoor carnivorous plant nursery. Today, I'm going to answer the question of what carnivorous plants do I say new growers should avoid? And honestly, this is a much more loaded question than you may think. And I'm going to choose to answer it by breaking it down into different areas that you would grow them. So outdoors, indoors without a light, indoors with a light. So like indoors without a light is on a windowsill. Indoors with light is like a situation I got going here. Outdoors would be completely outside where it's getting all kinds of beautiful full sun that is unobstructed, which is very important. So starting off, we have outdoors. I'd recommend, if you're going to go grow outdoors, three main genera I would stick away from, especially if you're here in the United States. I would stick away from Helianthera, Cephalotus, and Nepenthes. They tend to be a little bit more tricky. Some areas in the southern parts of the United States, you can get away with some of the Nepenthes hybrids, but generally speaking, overall, I would not recommend starting with those plants. Plus, they're very pricey overall, and you don't want to kill a plant like as soon as you get it, especially if you put, $20-$30 plus into it. In most cases, a helianthera would be like $70 to $100. So yeah, don't put those outside to get toasted. It's a bad idea. But they're very difficult, and their reputation makes it very easy to suggest not doing that. Now, if you were to grow outside, I would recommend growing Venus flytraps, Sarracenia, or Triantha. There's a few Drosera that grow natively throughout the U.S., but their availability can be kind of spotty. But Venus flytraps and Sarracenia are very easy to find at most garden centers, and even most carnivorous plant nurseries sell them, except for me because, well, I have a video about that you can go check out if you wanted to. However, they are all very easy to grow here in most of the U.S., and they're, generally speaking, is a Sarracenia that'll survive just about anywhere if you're giving it enough water. And then if you're in like more of the southwest in the desert, you might need to give them a shade cloth or something. So moving on to indoor on a windowsill, I would actually say don't use any of the plants that I suggested to grow outdoors. So Venus flytrap, Sarracenia, or Triantha, because they require so much sunlight. And their dormancy cycle, which is going to be a whole bunch of other videos in the future, that's just not recommended for a beginner. It's too many questions. You're not going to have nature to basically sweep you through. However, I would recommend plants that like lower light, that don't usually enjoy too much bright light, like Drosera adelae, most terrestrial utricularia, and like very common Nepenthes hybrids like Nepenthes ventrata. These plants typically can handle a lot lower lighting, and not only handle it but enjoy it. And it's a good entryway if you're looking for, a relatively cheap plant that just toss on your windowsill and see, like, do I have any luck in my environment? Like, is it good enough? However, if you end up going the full 9 yards or already have a grow setup, if you're growing under lights, I would actually say stick away from any of the temperate plants. Just like on the windowsill, it can be very difficult to replicate their dormancy cycle, or how they actually want to grow throughout the year, or their size. In the case of Sarracenia, is just kind of unwieldy for being under lights. It's just not a good time. I have a whole video on that as well. Because of the seasonal temperature changes and the lighting changes and stuff like that, it's usually a little too dramatic for other tropical plants. So I would not recommend trying to co-opt multiple different kinds of tropical plants with temperates. It tends not to end up with good results. Well, I hope this has been helpful or informational for you. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment if you have any questions or suggestions for any future discussions or rants like this. If you want to talk plants, join the Carnivorous Plant Discord. Link is in the description. If you want to support me directly by buying a plant, my nursery link is also in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Goodbye.